alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Welcome back to Which Science in the Kitchen, where we make ice cream with sweet potatoes. I found this recipe. I guess I am just drawn to the unique recipes on Pinterest, but I found this recipe for ice cream and just couldn't resist trying it. It has cashews, it has oats, it has sweet potato. So something this healthy, I'm just not sure if it's even going to taste good. When you are cooking the sweet potatoes, though, be sure that the fork goes all the way through and that you take the skin off, and that will help it taste less healthy, I think. I don't know why so many people peel the skin off sweet potatoes. Aren't it doesn't it have like a lot of minerals in it? Whatever. Once the mix is all put together, pour it into your container and fill it to the fill line, and then freeze it forever. I kind of followed this recipe, quote unquote, pretty close, but it ended up coming out really well, actually. I am wide it's gone. It's completely gone. Like I fed it to a whole bunch of children, four of which were not my own, and they just pounded all of the pints of ice cream and loved it. So I would say that this recipe was a huge success. Sweet potato ice cream, you heard it here first. Let's talk dandelions. I made this costume for my daughter when she worked with me at the Renaissance Fair. Her name was Taraxacum Officinale, or a dandelion. I did buy the belt, and the petal skirt and headdress were given to me, but my daughter made her little dandelion staff. We bought yarn, which is why this part cost $20, because we did need to buy the yarn and the sticks and the floral foamy ball in the middle. She made all of the pom-poms. That was the condition of this costume, which we then stuck into the ball and attached to this broomstick that we painted green and decorated with floral arrangements I had taken from yard sales. The headpiece also has several of those floral arrangements. I put acrylic paint on it and then washed it off in the bathtub to give it kind of that ombre look where it changes color like a natural flower petal would. So the whole costume came together really well. We bought a $1.25 makeup thing from the dollar store and spread fairy dust on our faces. Look how tall and beautiful she is, being a little fairy princess. Fairy princess, as Gru would say. I did sew this shirt according to Mood Fabrics Flora Blouse pattern. It was really simple and came together nicely, and I was able to save energy. I felt like an absolute potato after sewing the 5-layer ruffle skirt that I heaped upon my own platter. Speaking of potatoes, I'ma just need you to hang in there with me because potato and leek soup is actually fabulous. It might sound kind of odd. Leeks are not really a common American vegetable, at least where we grew up, but you know what? Oh, hey, look, a laundry ad. This soup is fabulous, and you can pretend to be a Farfetch'd while you're holding the leek. And a Surfetch'd they upgraded. P.S. The new gen Pokemon has it. Anyway, so put butter in your pan and make sure it starts melting. Then add a little bit of garlic and let that sweat. Start chopping a large potato, a senor papa. Then make sure okay, this is where I deviate a little bit from the recipe because leeks can be expensive and I just have a lot of walking onion in my backyard. So I literally just add handful after handful of walking onion and keep them moving around so they don't burn. And it makes the base for this lovely soup. And it's actually quite nice and very French. My apologies to Jen Segal, though, who is a chef. If you die inside watching this video, I apologize. The death is only about to get worse because I also added goosefoot. Since my soup is already super green, I just add a little bit of this extra herb that my children pick from the back of the yard, and it just puts vitamins into it, I think. Question mark? Green food means healthy, I guess. That's how I was raised in the 90s. I also put bay leaves because that's at least kind of normal and a bunch of other spices, and it ends up tasting really decent once it has had time to actually cook through and boil in a lovely sort of way. In the meantime, I do take all of my extra goose foot and put it in baggies and freeze it in the freezer for more crunchy granola-esque recipes. Oh, hey, look, it's already boiled. Isn't the internet amazing? Now that it is already boiled, I do take the bay leaf out and check to make sure that the potatoes are once again cooked all the way through. This is your secret cooking weapon for this episode. Also, you use your emulsion blender that Tessie got you for Christmas. Best gift ever, Tessie. And you blend a lot. Is this what it feels like mixing music tracks for you? Is me using an emulsion blender? Once it is all blended, it comes out lovely and soft. This is, again, very green and does not look like the end result of Jen's recipe because of all the extra greenery I added. However, my children do eat it. We eat it with chips or bread, and it is a lovely summer suit, except for when it's really hot and it burns your child and there are trust issues. So do make sure that they have a chance to cool it down or serve with ice cubes, which I did not have at this time, but the taste is delicious. Returning to edible plants, my daughter and I worked at the Ren Fair as mushroom people, and we used our arcane fairy skills in Fairyland and Beyond to taunt and terrify the brains of mortals. Actually, I bought these metal puzzles online and basically gave them to people and said, hey, if you solve this, I will give you a gem, which I had in my pocket. And it was wildly entertaining. The entire day, I only had one person give up and not finish the puzzle. I managed to not sunburn by hiding under my arcane fairy hat while taunting the brains of normal mortals, and also just appreciating the interactions with people. One amazingly sweet woman and her daughter asked if they could touch my hat because the daughter was blind and wanted to know what the hat felt like. It was really great. And then most of the time, I just messed with the brains of mortals by offering them the puzzle challenge.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately.
Nailed it. Also, can we just talk for a moment about how much I love this shirt? I cannot say how much I love it.
My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love.
The shirring is just fabulous and ridiculously comfortable. I did buy it at a Dillard's sale. It's one of the pieces that I purchased for the costume, and it's just been so practical and so incredible. The other purchased thing that I used for this costume, as I mentioned before in another episode, was this corset, and it does have boning in it, which just gives it a lot of body and support. If you're wearing a corset appropriately, not that you'll ever have this problem, but just in case you do, if you're wearing it appropriately, it's not going to hurt, actually. It kind of gives you core strength and makes you feel like the Hulk. If you don't believe me, ask Bernadette Banner because she made a ton of videos about this. And the damask pattern is gorgeous, so there. It's kind of great to have a costume item that you can just sink and that looks absolutely fabulous, like this acorn bag that I also apparently just found online. Hey, look! They do make them! She said that I could find it, and I looked it up and it came. Go figure. Oh, yes, hello, humble mortal. I'm Bolita Julius, a mushroom researcher, solely for research purposes, you see. I'm not a member of the royal family, but I do like puzzles.
I do try.
How did you do it so quickly? Ah!
Yes, dear mortals, if you are looking to see where this puzzle has originated, it has come from the sacred forest of the fairies, that Amazon, which is very quick with its messages and packages if you are willing to pay a fair folk fee. Puzzles were way more rewarding than I thought they would be, maybe because of all the stress we cause people in the first place. Mandatory fun! By which I mean more mulch loads. Do you know how much mulch I have personally, also through child labor? There was a pretty fair amount of child labor involved in the scooping of this mulch. However, it was under significantly better labor conditions than that of the Victorian period. Also, if you give a child your camera, they will take 1,000 pictures. I think it's inborn. Maybe it's written in the genetic code somewhere kind of like people poking paint when it's wet. They just will take 1,000 pictures with your phone because they can. Also, once you get the mulch back and find everybody carving on the carving benches, it's kind of fabulous and worth it. They are sitting on the small patch of mulch that we have already managed to do in the yard. So, progress already.